Welcome back, everyone. My name is Sufazella, and welcome to my first ever MLS League Recap, where I go over this last week, Week 12, and basically point out all the highlights I thought were interesting and things I'd like to talk about. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoy the content. Feel free to let me know if I missed anything down in the comments down below. So we're going to go ahead and start off with we had a Wednesday games this week. And I wanted to talk about the Chicago-Colorado game. Nikolic of the Chicago Fire scored 2 goals that game and basically catapulted himself to the top goal scorer of the league with 10 goals. So this guy's been on fire, just racking up goals, helping the Chicago Fire do well. And it's always nice to watch Colorado lose. They lost pretty bad, 3-0 in this game. We're going to move on to Sporting Kansas City versus Seattle. Now, this was a game, Seattle lost 3-0 to Sporting Kansas City. But having watched, if you watch the game, Seattle kind of dominated the first half. It felt like had better chances, and they just couldn't put anything away, which was unfortunate. And then you have the mighty Gershow, the Gershow show, in the second half, where he scores a hat trick. And if you watch his goals, I mean, his work rate is incredible. The guy is everywhere and non-stop, and you know what I'm saying? And to be able to finish those goals, and he had one that's a really well-placed shot. So yeah, he just went beast mode and won it for Sporting Kansas City. So it was kind of crazy. But yeah, he is definitely an amazing player, and as a winger, I think is adding quite a bit to the Sporting Kansas City, unfortunately, because I hate them. Moving on to the Friday's game, New York Red Bulls versus Toronto FC. This was an interesting game. They looked fairly evenly matched, with 1 goal apiece, and then you got that PK, penalty kick, where Josie Altidore steps up to take it. And, you know, he rightfully at the end of the game blames himself for the poor penalty and not putting it away. And it's true. I mean, you take a look at it. It was weak. He telegraphed where he was going. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to telegraph where you're going to go, you've either got to put it top bins, or you've got to that's got to be a laser. And his PK was weak. Then you have the whole offside, onside, disallowed goal. And, you know, I heard Simon Borg talk about, it's offside because he had to move his foot for the ball to pass. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I get that he was a part of the play. I guess that's the thing, is he's a part of the play technically because he had to move his foot for the ball to be able to score. But on the other hand, if he had touched it, he definitely would have been a part of the play. So there's basically, I mean, the guy kicked it while he's standing there. You know what I'm saying? And people get out of the way all the time. So, you know what I'm saying? If someone's shooting the ball, like, from outside of the box, and you're ducking, and the ball goes over you into the net, I mean, I've seen goals like that where they've allowed it, even if you're in an offside position. So I don't know. I guess they were pretty much screwed. But yeah, so they called that one off, and they ended up with a draw, which was unfortunate. On Saturday, we had quite a few games. The first one I want to talk about is the Montreal versus Portland Timbers game. And I mean, let's be honest. Other than Portland Timbers fans, everyone hates Diego Chara. Am I correct? That guy wants to be hated. And his red card was totally deserved. Can't stand him. You know what I'm saying? He lost his cool, ended up touching the guy's face. If you watch it enough times, you actually see Piatti. I mean, he like touches him, and then he goes, like, it takes a whole second or two, and then he goes, and then flops on the ground. It just reminds me of the Key and Peele sketch. But also, another thing that's interesting about that game was that Caleb Porter was excited because he could finally field the 11 like the true 11 starting players he's wanted to field forever. So he basically gets his team back from injury and all these other things, and he's playing. So he's playing, and he's playing the worst Eastern Conference team, and the worst Eastern Conference team put a 4-1 whooping on the Portland Timbers. So it's kind of hilarious. It's like, yes, I got my team back. Oh no, Diego's a moron, and Piatti and company beat the crap out of us. DC United versus Chicago. Holy cow. Chicago win this one 1-0, and it wasn't for a lack of trying. Nikolic was just so off during that game that it hurt. For a guy who was leading the league in goals on Wednesday, you'd be shocked at how many sitters that guy missed. It's just heartbreaking. Time after time after time, nothing. I mean, Akam has to basically do it all himself, and gets this amazing goal. They pass it over. He just breaks away. He's onside. If you watch what's his name, Simon Borg instant replay thing, he shows you, yeah, this guy was on when they kicked it. He's just got such speed that he just, literally tears away from him all alone as if he was cherry picking. And anyway, so he picks up the ball, showing him where he's going to go, but he beats him, gets a beautiful curve on the ball, beats the keeper into the back of the net, and they win 1-0. But like I said, Nikolic was just so off that it hurt. And then you had Bastian Schweinsteiger, who did some super sick skills. You gotta watch him. If you haven't seen him, go look him up on Instagram or some kind of YouTube or something like that, because the skills he puts on them, it's just heartbreaking. It's just, so beautiful. And then to top it all off, he's doing all this crazy, awesome, amazing footwork and skill moves. And then who does he pass it to? Nikolic, who's having a terrible night, and just right in front of the net, just boots it off into the crowd. So not a super. It was an interesting game, it's an exciting game, but it was almost depressing with how bad Nikolic was. Let's take a look at the Atlanta versus Houston game. Houston's been having a rough week. They lost to Philadelphia on Wednesday. And they lose again to Atlanta 4-1 on Saturday. Atlanta put a beat down on these guys. Is there nothing that guy can't do? You watch he gets his penalty kick put away. First off, Almiron turns, takes a shot off balance, and then the other one, he's like someone tries to stop him. He keeps the ball, takes a couple of steps, is falling to the ground, and flicks it up into the corner. That guy, when they played us, and they beat the crap. They beat us 4-0. That guy is amazing. Almiron, holy cow! That signing, he is gonna be a rock star, and it's just awesome to watch the things he does. And then you have the whole handball issue, and this this actually goes back. We had the same type of thing happen to us. I can't remember. Oh, it was Phillips. It's where the defender is sliding to cut off the touch line, and his arms. You're sliding down. You got one leg extended. You're sliding on the other. Buttocks, upper thigh, and you have your hand out because you're sliding. You know what I'm saying? It's baseball. That's how you slide. That's how a human being slides. And the guy tried to pass it, and sure enough, ball touched his hand. But he had his hand down and is sliding across, and the guy cuts back and then tries to pass it. And it's like, the guy's had his hand on the floor the whole time before he passes it. So to me, like I said, he's just slide tackling. It's not his fault someone kicks a ball at his hand. I think it's in a natural position, but the ref calls the handball. I don't agree with it. Doesn't matter. They beat the crap out of him 4-1, but it should have been 4-0. And back to Colorado versus the Philadelphia Union. So Colorado is, I mean, RSL sucks. I'm not gonna lie, we suck. But there's one consolation, is that Colorado is sucking even more than us. And so that's kind of nice. Their game against the Philadelphia Union, you know what I'm saying, they call the handball. Whatever, you know, I see what he's doing. You guys literally flopping on the ball to keep it. And I can see the handball. You know, it is what it is. But my favorite part of the game is is the second goal. They have them lined up. You know, Howard lines up I think it's like a 4-man wall for a free kick. And the guy runs up, takes it, and it literally, if you watch it enough, and all the different angles, it literally creeps up and over either the first or second guy's head and into the net. And only one person in the line jumped. And that was like the third guy. Everyone else stayed planted. And Tim Howard's losing his mind. Like, what is going on? What are you guys doing? Jump up! And it's perfect. I could watch it over and over and over again. It's just hilarious to watch Tim Howard lose his mind, and the guys are just like I said, he's just watching the ball zoom, right over his head. It's a beautiful sight. So yeah, they lost 2-1 to the Union. FC Dallas versus San Jose Earthquake. It wasn't a very entertaining game for me, but how do you say his name? Hika? That goal, if that goal does not get goal of the week, then no goal deserves goal of the week. That was such an amazing 1-2 pass with a flick over a defender, and it wasn't like he's like slamming it or he just passes it into the net as cool as you like. And it's not like the goalkeeper's not there. The goalkeeper's right there. But he just flicks it up and over, and then just slots it in, just like, oh yeah, no biggie, and like a boss. Fantastic goal. That one, if that one doesn't get goal of the week, no goal deserves goal of the week. Also, a key thing to note is that that's the FC Dallas's first loss this season. They are, I think, like 5 wins, 4 ties, and a loss. So San Jose, thank you for finally I think they were the only undefeated team so far this season. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they were, at least in the West. So it's nice to know that they aren't totally invincible and people can actually pick up 3 points against them. Then we're gonna move. Then I'm gonna move on to the Sunday games. Minnesota United versus LA Galaxy. Ramirez, again, Minnesota United beat us. We went to Minnesota United thinking, oh, we've got like 3. I thought, oh, we've got 3 points. And then they beat us 4-2, and Ramirez was a beast. And the guy he can't stop scoring. The guy scores and scores and scores for both teams. He scored the tying goal to bring them level 1-1, and then he got an own goal again, and he actually got an own goal the week before too. So this is the second game in a row where he scored an own goal, and that basically cost them the game. They lost 2-1 against LA Galaxy. You know, it's almost like, dude, don't defend in the box. Just the only time we want you in the box is when you're in the other team's box, because when you're in our box, you score just like you do in theirs. So that, I thought that was hilarious, but also unfortunate. Sorry for you, Minnesota United fans. And then last but not least, I wanted to talk about Orlando City versus New York City FC. Great rivalry. New York finally, I think they won like 1-7 games or something like that. They stomped them. They curb stomped Orlando 3-0. But I don't even care about the game. What I thought was most funny was Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira said that he thought that New York City FC were the better team in the so they've already played them 3 times this season. New York City's already played Orlando City 3 times this season. Lost the 2 prior games, but Patrick Vieira, before the game, the 3rd game, said he thought New York City was a better team. And then after the game was like, yeah, we deserve the win because we're awesome. And Jason Kreis, a.k.a. former New York coach, is like, that's ridiculous. And he used to be our coach before he was New York's coach. But it's just the fact that he got all upset about Patrick Vieira. That's ridiculous. Coaches need to respect each other more and yada yada. So that was the funniest thing, I thought. As to how the league sits, all right. As to the standings, there was an article that was written that talked about, this is the first time in a long time that the Eastern Conference seems just as strong, if not stronger, and I agree. And the East is finally coming to the West and beating Western teams, which is insane because for the longest part, it was a lot like the NBA, where the Western Conference had all the majority of the stronger teams. The East, it was a joke. You had the Cleveland, who beat up every other team in the East, and they were the only ones, and they were the only ones that could ever do anything. And whereas the Western Conference was a bloodbath, and for the longest time, that's how I felt MLS was for the last 3 or 4 years, ever since Sporting Kansas City, so 2013, ever since Sporting Kansas City came to the Western Conference, it's felt like a bloodbath. It feels like we eat each other alive on points. You know what I'm saying? And then we get all our we get fat off of the Eastern Conference. But this year, it seems quite different. It feels like they are just as good, if not better, than Western Conference teams. So it'll be exciting. Because, it almost feels like there's no easy points. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments down below. If I didn't talk about your teams, I'm sorry. If you don't like my opinions, tough luck. Put in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. This has been FIFAzilla, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.